I think I deserve an Emmy. I definitely deserve a Golden Globe for watching Joker 2 Folie À Deux. After all the press, bad press, people on social media talking negatively about it, then the occasional people that came through was like, it's a sleeper masterpiece. It's way over your head. You just got to think about it. As far as I can tell, I'm gonna dive into that, but I'm definitely thankful that I actually watched this movie versus just letting a whole bunch of people with, I don't know, some people are actually legitimate. I'm not gonna even just go that hard, but some of the people, these are the same people that complain about everything being woke, everything being tragic and DI and go woke, go broke. They did this with the Joker. So I never really identified with the Joker character in the first film. Don't get me wrong. I know the message that they were sending, and it was, what's the word I want to say? A very art imitating life or vice versa type message that was going on there. So now, you know, there is no such thing as men leaving the workforce. It's just you're lazy, you're a sociopath, you have mental issues, but your issues aren't that bad to warrant you needing help and needing you getting assistance. You just have to tough it out and just what do they? What's that word they like to say? Buckle up, buttercup, and buckle up your bootstraps and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, so let's get into it. So, Joker 2 opens up with this whole Looney Tunes esque opening, and you just legitimately see a shadow doing these moves and kissing women like Pepe Le Pew and breaking crooks and men's arms and stuff, and then you see Arthur Fleck locked out. So part of me wanted to be like, this is so crazy, super duper metaphorical, where it's just, wow, like it's two people in the one body or something like that. It clearly it could still be that, but what they did in the end definitely interrupts that idea. So we got the whole Looney Tunes things. That part of me almost turned me off because it's crazy that no one mentioned that. And hopefully, if no one knows already, I'm gonna go over a little bit of spoiler stuff because this is a deep dive, a breakdown. So when you do that, you kind of gotta give out some of the seedlings that a whole lot of people aren't talking about, or fail to mention because it's woke as DI. I want Spider Man. Arthur Fleck ends up becoming acquainted with Harley and Quinzel's character while they're in the psych wards singing convention, I guess if you want to say. Like, you know how Alcoholics Anonymous has their meet and greets where they sit down and talk about their problems, but instead of that, we have these people that are somewhat deranged or partly all the way deranged. They get here, and the only way they can open up about partial blockage and illnesses and things they want to get off their chest is through song. No dance, unfortunately, but just song right now. So then we learn a little bit more about Lady Gaga, Harleen Quinzel's character. She's smart. Her parents are rich, but she wanted to come off to Arthur like, I'm from your neck of the woods. I'm just a lonely gal. And my mom, I hate my mom. She had to get me administered and here to the psych ward. Whoop de woo. She was just legitimately out here nerd baiting Arthur Fleck. Just out here like, yeah, I like Star Wars. And you know what? Even though it's cold out here in the South, in Pennsylvania, I'll definitely wear the Jabba the Hutt Princess Leia outfit just for you, Arthur. Just for you, Daddy. Out here doing a he-go face and everything. Lady Gaga's character was out here nerd baiting this dude. I don't care what nobody says. And that's what happens when you just straight up listen to this things that you know are too good to be true. The music that they chose for this is reminiscent to the first film, obviously, because you get the whole smile. Na, 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 na. You get that whole gist. So here they wanted to bring it back, but also make it like A21 feeling. I'm like, Joker, for real, this what we doing? Todd Phillips, you done went the whole, this is the Cape Crusaders biggest villain to he's a guy pretending to be a guy who's not the guy, but you think it's the guy. Marinate on that. Think about that, and I'll get back to that shortly. So the music pieces they touched on definitely are the Hollywood of the early 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe late 50s, because in the late 50s, that's when the whole musical genre was supposed to be like fading out and they was going more towards westerns and all of that. But the whole genre of when there were starlets and stars and everybody did the right thing, you had community, everybody went to church on Sunday, everybody feared the Bible, and everybody loved the American flag. We didn't do all this commie stuff, the back in the old days, the reminiscent era or point in time is very, very telling, very mustache twirling, if I must say. And it goes back to what Arthur has been saying and the audience of this film have been saying, like, nobody really cares about mental illness until it becomes sensational and the person that was suffering through said illness becomes the front page of a newspaper. So with it being a musical, and I already knew going into this it was going to be multiple songs, I just didn't know it was going to be like more songs that was trashed than actually one or two hits, in my opinion. So the singing when it starts off is kind of like a dry acapella. There's no real music behind it. It's just, I just got done smoking a cigarette and I feel like my chest is gonna explode. It's something like that, very dry, people almost talking in a rhythmic tone or whatever. Even with Lady Gaga, I'm like, nah, we ain't got the Gaga, rah, rah, rah. We ain't got that Lady Gaga right now. I mean, she did do a solo, not solo, but she did do a song in here where I guess the audience would say it's good, but me and my personal taste, I really didn't care for it. It's only two songs out of this whole movie, this whole 2 hour long movie where I was like, damn, I actually want to rewatch this just to see this song again. So you had Lady Gaga do the close to you, because she lied to Arthur, and then when she was singing that song after telling this man the lie, I was like, ooh. I'm not gonna lie, that had me in my feels right there. I was like, damn, they got me on that one. And then when Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix did the It's Always a Joker song, those two are hits. And when I hear the anti-woke guys like, burr, they switched up on the fan base, they changed and alienated their audience. They somewhat did, but I think they was trying to go and get the broader audience. Like, they know they already got the guys that are virgins. They don't have too much experience with women. Their mom might do things to them or overfeed them Mountain Dew and twist their temples and all that, like Boogie or whatever. But then it also hit me. I think they want to get the Steven Universe crowd. Because think about it, Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network. And I think they wanted to get in and get like a cash pile of like the TikTok kids, have them singing and dancing to some of these Joker numbers or whatever. I think they wanted people to gather around them stairs out there in Philly or wherever the hell them stairs are. New Jersey or Philly, one of the two areas. And have them doing the dances and kicking their feet up and hopping down the stairs. I think they wanted to go the A24 artsy round and not just go for the sales that are on the internet all day and smell like rotten flesh and Mountain Dew. I think they wanted to get the sing-song crowd, the crowd that puts on makeup and dances and do all the musing and all that kind of stuff. The jailhouse scene was like the longest part of this movie. I think that makes up a good hour or if not more of this whole film. You could tell they kind of wanted to get they just wanted to sensationalize the whole courtroom and everybody's watching. All eyes are on Arthur. And first, he's kind of going through, he got his lawyer doing his spiel. Then afterwards, He's like, well, I'm the Joker, and they want to see me. And he represents himself and fires his lawyer. And he goes through this whole, I'm immortal. I'm going to be immortalized. It's going to be infamy. And then something happens where it's like, damn, like, is he going to allow this to happen? Like, what the hell is going to go on now? Arthur gets assaulted in prison. Not just by Lady Gaga, but like by some males. And once it happens, it was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my. It's like all the feelings and sensation of cringe, helplessness. What am I looking at right now? Oh my gosh, like all those feelings were just hitting me, bombarding me. It's like, damn. Like this movie is this long, and we don't get no bodies. We don't get no carnage counts. We don't get no kill feed, no Deadpool. Like, are you serious? It dawned on me just after that whole scene happened. I'm like, so the whole thing that happened in the first film was Arthur getting things done wrong to him. Of course, he didn't get everybody. He didn't get everyone that looked at him wrong and spat in his damn macaroni and cheese, but he got some of the big people, or at least the ones that's doing more damage to him than not. He got his mom. He got the guys in the alley. He got the ravioli guy, the big guy where Puddles showed up, and he was like, you was the only one that was nice to me, Arthur. You was the only one that was nice to me. And then it's crazy because Arthur was like, well, didn't you think that ravioli guy was like a big bully or something? And then Puddles, he didn't deserve to die. He didn't deserve to die, I tell you. He didn't deserve that. I was like, oh, what is it with you then? Like, oh my gosh. Still ruminates with the fact that what Puddles said about how I'm afraid of you, Arthur. You make me feel so small, so helpless. I'm always afraid. I was never afraid until what you did, Arthur. And the way that those cops brutalized that man and made him feel like he was miniature Puddles. I'm not gonna lie, that had me for a loop too. Because part of me, like, it was cringe, but not cringe like you see a overweight person trying to dress up as Sonic or something like that. It hit me a cringe like, damn, like, this is the quote-unquote audience that this man was catering to the first go around in this movie. Because think about it. The first go around in the movie, Arthur was all these things. He never talked to women. He had the disgusting, ugly laugh or whatever. I mean, you got the details on the laugh and all that in the first film, but to hear when Zazie Beetz came in as the black, or excuse me, as the bronze Caucasian, because I know her father's white, but as the bronze Caucasian woman that was the apartment neighbor or whatever that had to get out the projects because once Arthur left and all the news people was there, and they wanted to get stories, and she was like, I didn't feel safe, so she dipped. But she came back to do this news jury thing or whatever. So hearing her talk about how the mom was like, well, you know, he told me that Arthur was virgin. He ain't never been with a woman before. And she was laying out this dude's dirty laundry. I'm like, Even Arthur was like, I don't want to be here. I was like, I wanted to climb out my damn chest like a werewolf or something. I'm like, damn it, man. Like, I felt for that dude. I felt for that dude right there. Right there. Golly. I'm losing my train. So going back to the brutalization of Arthur. He feels small now. He feels helpless. He goes back on stage the next day. He's on court. He's defending himself. All that stuff. And the judge is out here the whole time like, you're not finna turn this into no circus fleck. It's not a circus. You're going to respect the court of law. But Arthur was just sitting there, man. Everybody like, you okay? You cool? You straight? Arthur was just out here looking like a OG moiterer, a OG go-getter. Just out here just looking, just blinking. Like he was finna possess the camera screen or something like The Omen or like The Ring and just come through it and just brutalize everybody watching the television. I'm not gonna lie, that scene right there, it looked cool, but it didn't have no substance. That was just an empty threat. This empty promise. So after he gets done doing that, he's like, I'm having a bad day and I hate my life and whoop-de-woo, blah, blah. I just want to blow it all away. Somehow, one way or another, car bomb goes off. Boom, boom, boom. He escapes. And this dude legitimately had worshipers. He wasn't going to be alone. He was going to have people, quote unquote, looking out for him because, hey, he was the spokesman for their rage and how they was feeling about the city and all that kind of stuff. But you know what this dumb dude does? He leaves the protection of the flunkies to go find a groupie that wasn't really a groupie that gave him 5 seconds of heaven or whatever. And then he goes to see her and he's like, I'm free. We can go now. We can be together. And she was like, all we had was fantasy. I'm like, what? Even I knew in the back of my mind, there's no way in hell that she's going to leave for this dude. She has money. She has options. And then he's like, you're pregnant, right? And she starts singing to this dude. And everything that the lawyer told this dude, I can tell was running through his mind like, she's playing you for a fool. She's playing you for a fool. And it's crazy because he even had a conversation with Harley Quinzel, Lady Gaga's character, like, yo, I don't like being played for a fool. And he still ended up going for this chick. But needless to be said, the cops show up, they get him, throw him back in the pen, and the end of the movie, he meets the Shadow. And this is going back to what I was even saying earlier. He meets the legitimate Shadow. And the Shadow is a psychopath. The Shadow is the guy that came. And you remember the movie You Got Served? Arthur Fleck got served. But he got served and then had his whole flow taken. Like, y'all remember them old like 2000s films like, what was that damn cheerleading movie called? Bring It Back or Never Bring It Back or Never Back Down or whatever that cheerleading movie was where they stole our whole dance routine. Dude legitimately showed up, spit out a joke to Arthur Fleck. It was like a psychopath meets a joker. And I forgot what the hell the punchline was supposed to be. The punchline was basically, I'm finna dig in your guts and I'm finna take your whole legacy and your name of being the Joker. And I was like, bruh, the fact that they went this route, but Tom Phillips did not even like do a Spider-Verse thing. Cause you remember like in the first Spider-Verse movie where you saw like the spider come down, it was twitching and all that, but we never really understood what was the reason behind it until the second film. He could have did something like that where all the anger and rage that Arthur Fleck was feeling, the Shadow came and he was the one that was like the action muscle behind the brawn or the bullet in the gun that was making all these things transpire. But Arthur Fleck was out here catching bodies, doing mayhem and carnage in the first film, only for him to come back the second film and, oh, well, it's not really him. I mean, it's him, but he's conscious and cognitive of all his actions, so he's not really the Joker, hint, hunk, hint, hint per se, and it was too much. And it's too much not in a genius way, but too much like in like, what was the point? The Joker really didn't need a sequel, and the fact that they came behind everybody trying to catch the bag. I mean, everybody got paid for this project. Like, everybody in Hollywood got paid for this production. They got paid for this product ahead of time. They don't care how the numbers really turned out. I mean, bigger numbers mean if it was going to be a sequel, part 3 or whatever, but This is the movie right here. This is the movie industry right here. This is the game. And you got other people saying that this is like a humiliation ritual. It was to go after the fans of the original. There's a whole lot that can be said about it. It's everything. It's everything and above. It's not just A, B, and C. It's all the above. All the answers and above. And it's one of those things where they have to go behind and tear the legacy of films that were decent, or at least part one was decent. Never in the Story. What happened? They came out part 2, part 3, trash. The whole legacy is almost destroyed, but even though I still go back and watch Never in the Story, it's just they couldn't continue that same fire. Like sometimes they make a think piece like The Matrix 1, and sometimes stuff like that be by accident. They be just so focused and creating, and then when they get the idea and the product out there, they like, oh damn, like this is gonna get to the wrong crowd, the wrong people, the wrong visionaries or whatever. So they gotta come back and dummy it down, water it down, and make sure that the sprouts and the seeds they planted in the first one make them look like an idiot, make them look like it never was that deep or anything like that or whatever. So that's what they did with the Joker. Folie À Deux. Hopefully y'all can look at my breakdown and let me know what y'all think about it and all that. But that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here.
Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you.